If there are thousands of cenotes in the Tulum area, how do you decide which one to go to, and what is it like? What can you expect? And is it kind of creepy? Coming up. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Christine with Where in the World is CL, and I make travel videos every week to help you get up, get out, and go travel. So if you like to travel, consider subscribing. I try so hard to make the videos that I wish I could have watched before I traveled to a place. And I wanted to share with you my experiences going to cenotes in Tulum. Your girl is gonna break it down for you with which cenotes I went to, tips for visiting them, and at the end, I'll share with you my favorite cenote. But let's start with one of the best and easiest cenotes to visit, which is Dos Ojos.
Dos Ojos.
When I think of cenotes and Tulum, this is what I envision. This really, really beautiful, clear blue water, and you definitely get that at Dos Ojos. It's such a great place for swimming and also a really great place for snorkeling. So I was scuba diving when I was at Dos Ojos, and there's two different dives here. There's the Barbie line and then there's the Bat Cave, and they're both really cool dives, but even if you're not a diver, snorkeling here could be really, really cool. I could see the snorkelers while I was diving, go on one of the guided snorkels, and be able to see all the phenomenal stalagmites and stalactites. Cenote Dos Ojos is a great one if it's raining outside because it's partially covered or fully covered depending on which part of the cenote that you're in. This is unlike the next cenote, which is Cenote Calavera, the closest one to Tulum town. I'm gonna be honest about my experience at this cenote, which it's not a positive one, but if you're getting some value out of this video, cheers that like button and consider subscribing. I'm gonna be honest, I tried riding my bike here because I thought it was really close to town.
Biking here on this busy road, it's really not the best. People drive really fast.
And as you can see from that little clip, it's pretty busy there. And when I went up to the front, after research and reviews online, I was expecting to pay about $5 to get in.
Cost-wise, this is a relatively expensive experience. It's $17 a person, and that's not the normal price. They are totally just charging whatever they want, and when you read the reviews, they'll just charge you if you have extra things like GoPros or stuff like that. So hiding your camera is key, but when I went and looked, there were just so many people, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be doing this right now.
And that's part of the reason why I did not have a good experience with this cenote. In other words, they'll basically just name any price that they want to, and I talk about it in a video, link in the description, about 17 things I did not expect about Tulum. The guy at the front did allow me to go look at the cenote because I was like, all right, I'll pay more, but only if it's worth it. And when I went back there, there were a million people. And here's a good tip for cenotes. Make sure you go early. Not just for the photos and the videos, but in general. It's hard to enjoy a place when it's insanely crowded. And cenotes are a pretty special place, and you want to be able to enjoy the serenity of it. And so make sure you go early anytime you're going to a cenote, including this one, especially because it's so close to town. Let's talk about the next cenote, which is Cenote Jaguar. I ended up visiting this cenote while doing the Maya Adrenaline Tour, which is a whole zipline, ATV, jungle tour, and you swim in the cenote.
It's a super fun ride out here, and once you get here, you rinse off, put on your life jacket, and you go down into Cenote Jaguar, which is really beautiful and totally optional. You can do the Mayan tradition of going into the little hut where they say a few Mayan words before you enter the cenote, which is cool and refreshing and beautiful. And they bring flashlights, and you swim through the cave where you'll see tons of stalagmites and stalactites and bats. It's super, super fun.
Wait, put it up there again. Oh my god. One more time, one more time.
It's time to call it quits.
One star override.
So one thing to note from that video is that yes, the water is cold both at this cenote and all cenotes. It's groundwater, and so it's really fresh and refreshing, however you want to look at it. I was being a little squeamish that day because I was extra cold from being outside all day, but just know that the water's cold.
To recap, we're gonna put on our dive equipment, and then we're gonna swing from this rope down into this cenote.
Actually over there, then to the cenote.
Oh, okay. We gotta go to the other side.
Just kidding. You actually take a really steep set of stairs going down into the cenote, and it really is for divers only, so check out my separate video about that if you're considering diving here. So these next 3 cenotes, including my favorite one, I was on a tour to go see. And my tip for you here that's key, especially if you want photos or you want a more serene and quiet experience with these cenotes, is to go on a tour, but to go on a tour that allows you to go before it opens to the general public. That is the key way to get the photos and to really just enjoy the cenote without anyone else there.
Welcome to Cenote Suytun.
And a couple things about expectations. One thing is that some cenotes will require you to wear life jackets, and some of them have time limits. In other words, you pay and you can only go for 45 minutes, for example. So just be aware that's the case for some of the cenotes. For me, I happened to be visiting at a time in which it wasn't that busy, and so they didn't bother with any of that, and they didn't have the normal lifeguards there. So I was able to take my life jacket off whenever I wanted to. This next cenote at Xux Hah was really interesting and is family owned and really deep into the jungle. And actually here at this cenote, and really all cenotes, you can expect to find facilities to be able to use the bathroom, change your clothes, etc., etc. Some of them have lockers. I didn't see lockers at every single one, but I was always with other people who could generally just watch my belongings, but that's just something to be aware of.
I didn't expect this. It's pretty cool.
At this cenote and at a lot of the cenotes, there are not posted prices about flying drones. In other words, they'll say things like, inquire for prices, which means they will literally size you up and see how much they want to charge you to fly your drone.
This is something about Mexico that kind of drives me crazy about the prices, is that they will charge whatever they want. And then they also do additional things, like if you have a drone or if you have a GoPro, they'll charge you a different price, and it's definitely not published. It's based off of how they feel and how you look and what they can gauge off of you. And so while it's tempting to bring my drone in for this shot, meh, I'm good.
Here, I was able to fly my drone for free, which is really cool because I was able to get this next shot that both shows the inside of the cenote as well as the surrounding awesome jungle.
Take me back to Mexico, that can't concern what turn the sun or high on me. Wanted to vibe with me. Take me back to Mexico, that can't concern what turn the sun or high.
Welcome to Cenote Oxman, spelled Oxman, but it's pronounced Oxman. It's so beautiful down here. They have these humongous roots, these beautiful plants. I'm super excited to get in the water. I'll admit, this is one of the coolest places I've ever been to.
Loving you was such a bliss.
To say the rope swing is epic doesn't even come close to explaining it.
Miss, 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 miss.
Oh, I think you can see why this is my favorite cenote, right? So phenomenal. And here's a bonus tip for you. If you're in this area, which these 3 cenotes are about a 45-minute drive away from Tulum and toward the town of Valladolid, which is a beautiful colonial town that you should spend the afternoon having lunch, and they do have a cenote of their own, but it's a great place to just do a quick stop between cenotes.
Cenotes are a must visit when you're in Tulum. I've had so much fun today and so much fun making this video. Cheers that like button if you haven't already. I'm here every week with new adventures, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.